In the realm of psi experiments, researchers have delved into the mysteries of telepathy, clairvoyance, psychokinesis, and precognition, sparking both fascination and skepticism. These studies often employ controlled environments and statistical analyses to explore the potential of the human mind to transcend known physical laws. Despite the controversial nature of their findings, these experiments continue to captivate scientists and the public alike, challenging our understanding of reality. Telepathy experiments have a rich history, beginning with the Society for Psychical Research in the late 19th century, which sought to scientifically validate the transmission of thoughts between individuals. These studies employed methods like card guessing and controlled trials, yet faced criticism for their lack of rigorous controls and reproducibility. The debate over their legitimacy remains contentious, with some researchers claiming groundbreaking insights while others dismiss them as pseudoscience. In the 1880s, the Society for Psychical Research conducted early telepathy experiments using card guessing and thought transmission over distances, aiming to prove the existence of telepathic abilities. Despite initial enthusiasm and sensational claims, these studies were later deemed unreliable due to methodological flaws and lack of consistent results. The uncontrolled variables and subjective interpretations led to skepticism, overshadowing the initial excitement surrounding these experiments. Frederick Myers, a pioneering figure in early telepathy studies, introduced experimental designs that produced sensational results at the time, capturing the public's imagination. His work with the Society for Psychical Research aimed to scientifically validate telepathy, using methods like controlled card guessing. Despite the initial excitement, Myers' experiments faced criticism for their lack of rigorous controls, ultimately impacting their credibility. The early telepathy studies of the 1880s were plagued by methodological weaknesses, such as the absence of control groups and reliance on subjective interpretations. These flaws undermined the scientific rigor of the experiments, leading to inconsistent and unreliable results. Critics argued that without proper controls, the findings could not be considered scientifically valid, casting doubt on the legitimacy of telepathic claims. A notable case of fraud in early telepathy studies involved a participant who secretly signaled answers to the experimenter, undermining the credibility of the results. This discovery had a profound impact on the field, leading to increased skepticism and calls for stricter controls in future experiments. The incident highlighted the vulnerability of psi research to deception, emphasizing the need for rigorous methodologies to ensure valid findings. J.B. Rhine's Zener card experiments in the 1930s aimed to scientifically test telepathy using a set of 5 distinct symbols on cards, with subjects attempting to guess the symbol on a hidden card. The results, which initially suggested success rates beyond chance, sparked debate over whether they indicated genuine telepathy or were due to statistical manipulation. Despite the controversy, Rhine's work remains a landmark in psi research, inspiring both supporters and skeptics. The Zener test design involved a deck of cards featuring 5 distinct symbols: a circle, cross, wavy lines, square, and star, used to test subjects' alleged telepathic abilities. Participants would attempt to guess the symbol on a card hidden from view, with results analyzed for statistical significance. This method aimed to provide a controlled environment for testing telepathy, though it faced criticism for potential biases and flaws. Skeptics like Martin Gardner critiqued the Zener card experiments, arguing that the statistical significance of the results could be attributed to chance or methodological errors. They pointed out potential biases in data collection and the lack of rigorous controls, which could inflate success rates. These critiques highlighted the challenges of proving telepathy scientifically, emphasizing the need for stringent experimental designs. A surprising twist in the Zener car trials was the discovery of an assistant leaking signals to participants, casting doubt on the integrity of the results. This revelation suggested that the apparent telepathic successes could be explained by human intervention rather than genuine psi phenomena. The incident underscored the importance of strict oversight and independent verification in psi research to prevent manipulation and fraud. During the Cold War, the Soviet Union conducted telepathy experiments involving Naum Kodik and Karl Nikolaev, aiming to demonstrate the power of the mind over distance. These trials, often shrouded in secrecy, were seen by some as genuine psi phenomena, while others viewed them as propaganda tools to showcase Soviet superiority. The results were mixed, with some claiming success in thought transmission. Yet the lack of transparency and potential political motives cast doubt on their authenticity. The Soviet Union's telepathy experiments were driven by political motives, with the military deeply involved in exploring the potential of mind-to-mind communication for espionage. These studies were not just scientific inquiries, but also a strategic maneuver to gain an edge over Western adversaries during the Cold War. The military's interest in harnessing telepathy for intelligence purposes highlights the intersection of science and politics in these controversial experiments. Report from the Soviet era claimed successful thought transmission over hundreds of kilometers, using techniques like sensory isolation and synchronized mental states. These experiments aim to prove that telepathic communication could transcend physical barriers, potentially revolutionizing military communications. However, the lack of independent verification and the secretive nature of these trials left many skeptical of their claimed successes. A scandal erupted when a celebrated Soviet telepath was exposed as a fraud, revealing the vulnerabilities of psi research to deception. This incident involved a supposed telepath who was caught using hidden signals to fake his abilities, undermining the credibility of Soviet telepathy studies. The scandal highlighted the importance of rigorous controls and transparency in psi experiments to prevent manipulation and fraud. Clairvoyance research has evolved from early mystical practices to more structured scientific experiments, yet it continues to face persistent skepticism. Researchers have employed a variety of approaches, from remote viewing to controlled laboratory tests, to explore the potential of perceiving distant or hidden objects. Despite the fascination with clairvoyance, the lack of consistent results and the challenge of meeting scientific standards have kept the field controversial. In the 1920s, René Warcollier conducted clairvoyance experiments using a method where subjects attempted to perceive hidden objects remotely. His work involved participants drawing images they believed were concealed, aiming to demonstrate extrasensory perception. While some results were intriguing, the experiments faced criticism for not meeting the scientific standards of the time, leaving their validity in question. Warcollier's remote drawing method involves subjects creating drawings of unseen images, attempting to capture details of objects hidden from view. This technique aimed to provide evidence of clairvoyant abilities by comparing the drawings to the actual objects. Despite some remarkable matches, the method struggled with replication issues, raising questions about its reliability. The hit rate analysis of Warcollier's experiments revealed both successes and challenges in replicating results, with some trials showing accuracy beyond chance. However, the difficulty in consistently achieving high hit rates led to skepticism about the reliability of clairvoyance. Critics argued that without consistent replication, the findings could not be considered scientifically valid. A notable case in Warcollier's experiments involved a subject accurately describing a hidden symbol, sparking debate over whether it was a coincidence or genuine ability. This instance, where the subject's drawing closely matched the concealed symbol, was hailed as a success story in clairvoyance research. However, the lack of consistent replication left the question of true clairvoyant ability unresolved. The Stanford remote viewing experiments in the 1970s, conducted in collaboration with the CIA, featured spectacular claims by participants like Pat Price. Price's descriptions of target locations were so detailed that they raised questions about whether his successes were due to psi abilities or intelligence leaks. Despite the intriguing results, the experiments faced criticism for their lack of scientific rigor, leaving their validity in doubt. In the Stanford remote viewing experiments, clairvoyants were tasked with describing target locations such as military bases and secret installations, often with astonishing precision. One participant, Pat Price, famously described a Soviet weapons facility in such detail that it seemed almost unbelievable. These descriptions included specific architectural features and equipment details, leading to debates about whether they were the result of genuine clairvoyance or other sources of information. Russell Targ, a pioneering physicist involved in the Stanford remote viewing experiments, faced significant scientific criticism for the lack of independent verification of the results. Critics argued that the methodological flaws and absence of rigorous controls undermined the credibility of the findings. Targ's defense highlighted the consistency of results across multiple trials, yet the debate over scientific validity remains unresolved. A shocking revelation in the Stanford remote viewing experiments was the discovery of a test subject secretly receiving information about target locations. This breach of protocol raised serious questions about the integrity of the experiments and the validity of the results. The incident highlighted the vulnerability of psi research to manipulation, emphasizing the need for strict oversight and independent verification. The Ganzfeld experiments on extrasensory perception, led by Charles Honorton, utilized a sensory deprivation technique to test for telepathic abilities. Participants were placed in a controlled environment with have ping-pong balls over their eyes and white noise in their ears, aiming to enhance psychic sensitivity. While some results suggested positive outcomes, critics argued these could be due to fraud or methodological flaws, sparking a heated debate in the scientific community. The sensory deprivation setup in the Ganzfeld experiments involved placing participants in a relaxed state with have ping-pong balls over their eyes and white noise playing through headphones. This method aimed to isolate the senses and create a uniform sensory field, believed to enhance extrasensory perception. The controlled environment was designed to minimize external distractions, allowing researchers to focus on potential psi phenomena. Meta-analyses of the Ganzfeld experiments suggested significant results, with some studies reporting success rates beyond chance. However, skeptics countered that these findings could be attributed to publication bias or statistical errors. The debate over the validity of these results continues, highlighting the challenges of proving psi phenomena scientifically. A controversy erupted in the Ganzfeld experiments when a scientist was found to have manipulated data to produce favorable results. This scandal cast a shadow over the field, raising doubts about the integrity of psi research. The incident underscored the importance of transparency and rigorous methodologies to ensure the credibility of scientific findings. Psychokinesis trials have explored the mind's ability to influence physical objects, ranging from small-scale lab tests to public demonstrations. These experiments have captivated audiences with astonishing claims of moving objects without physical contact, yet they remain controversial. The following sections will delve into the revelations and disputes surrounding these intriguing studies, challenging our understanding of the limits of human potential. J.B. Rhine's dice experiments aim to test whether individuals could influence the outcome of dice rolls through willpower alone. Conducted under controlled conditions, these experiments initially suggested results beyond chance, sparking debate over their authenticity. Critics argued that the effects could be statistical artifacts, yet Rhine's work remains a cornerstone in psychokinesis research. In Rhine's dice experiments, subjects attempted to mentally guide dice to land on specific numbers, testing the power of the mind over chance. This method involved focused concentration and repeated trials to determine if the results deviated from random probability. While some participants reported successes, the scientific community remains divided on whether these outcomes reflect genuine psychokinetic abilities. Critics of Rhine's dice experiments argue that the claimed deviation from chance could be attributed to small sample sizes and statistical anomalies. The experiments, which suggested that psychokinesis could influence dice rolls, face scrutiny for not consistently replicating results across larger trials. This criticism highlights the challenges of distinguishing genuine psi phenomena from random chance in scientific studies. A rarely mentioned incident in Rhine's dice experiments involved the discovery of a tampered die, casting doubt on the integrity of the results. This shocking revelation suggested that some outcomes might have been influenced by manipulation rather than psychokinesis. The incident underscored the importance of strict controls and independent verification in psi research to prevent fraudulent practices. In the 1970s, Uri Geller's spoon-bending demonstrations captivated audiences and scientists alike, with lab tests seemingly confirming his psychokinetic abilities. However, it was later revealed that Geller had deceived scientists using clever tricks, exploiting their eagerness to believe in his powers. This sensational exposure highlighted the need for rigorous scrutiny in psi experiments to avoid being misled by illusionists. At the Stanford Research Institute, researchers were thrilled by Geller's apparent successes, believing they had witnessed genuine psychokinetic phenomena. The excitement was palpable as Geller seemed to bend spoons and keys with mere concentration, leaving scientists in awe. However, this enthusiasm was later tempered by revelations of deception and trickery, casting doubt on the initial findings. James Randi, a renowned skeptic, exposed the tricks used by Uri Geller to simulate psychokinesis, revealing the illusion behind the spectacle. Randi demonstrated how Geller's spoon bending could be replicated using sleight of hand and misdirection, challenging the credibility of Geller's claims. This revelation of fraud underscored the importance of critical evaluation in psi research to distinguish genuine phenomena from stage magic. A stunning moment in the investigation of Uri Geller's abilities was the release of a video catching him cheating during a spoon-bending demonstration. The footage showed Geller using sleight of hand to manipulate the spoon, undermining his claims of psychokinetic powers. This visual evidence was a turning point, prompting a re-evaluation of Geller's public demonstrations and their scientific validity. In the Russian experiments with Nina Kolodjina, she allegedly moved objects with her mind, sparking both awe and skepticism. Footage of Kolodjina's demonstrations, such as moving a compass needle, was analyzed for signs of physical trickery. While some scientists were intrigued by the possibilities, others questioned the authenticity of the evidence, suspecting hidden mechanisms at play. Nina Kulagina's compass movement demonstrations were among the most fascinating displays of alleged psychokinesis, where she appeared to move a compass needle without touching it. These experiments captivated audiences, showcasing her supposed ability to influence small objects with her mind. Despite the spectacular nature of these demonstrations, the lack of independent verification left many questioning their scientific validity. The authenticity of footage from Kulagina's experiments has been a subject of intense debate, with critics pointing to the lack of independent testing as a major flaw. While some footage appeared to show genuine psychokinetic activity, the absence of rigorous controls raised doubts about its credibility. This controversy highlights the challenges of proving psi phenomena without conclusive evidence. A fascinating clue emerged in the investigation of Kulagina's abilities when a hidden magnet was discovered in one of the recordings. This revelation suggested that some of her demonstrations might have been achieved through physical trickery rather than genuine psychokinesis. The discovery of the magnet cast a shadow over the authenticity of her claims, emphasizing the need for thorough scrutiny in psi research. Modern micropsychokinesis experiments utilize random number generators to test if the human mind can influence electronic devices, a hypothesis that challenges our understanding of consciousness and technology. The Global Consciousness Project has recorded intriguing correlations between global events and deviations in random data, suggesting a collective human influence on electronics. Despite these fascinating findings, skeptics argue that the results could be due to statistical anomalies rather than genuine psychokinetic effects. The random deviation tech used in micro-PK experiments involves sophisticated algorithms to detect tiny deviations from chance in random number generators. These devices produce sequences of numbers that should be unpredictable. Yet researchers claim to observe patterns when subjects attempt to influence them mentally. The technology aims to provide quantifiable evidence of psychokinesis, though the interpretation of results remains contentious. The global event correlation analysis in micro-PK studies has shown intriguing patterns, such as deviations in random data during significant global events like 9/11. Proponents argue that these correlations suggest a collective human consciousness affecting electronic systems, while skeptics attribute them to coincidence or data mining. The debate continues as researchers strive to determine whether these patterns are meaningful or mere statistical noise. In a shocking twist, a scientist involved in micro-PK experiments was discovered to have tampered with the devices, casting doubt on the integrity of the results. This revelation suggested that some observed deviations might have been due to human manipulation rather than genuine psychokinetic effects. The incident highlighted the importance of rigorous oversight and independent verification in psi research to prevent fraudulent practices. Precognition experiments aim to predict the future using diverse methods, from dream analysis to physiological measurements, sparking both fascination and skepticism. These studies explore whether the human mind can access information about future events, challenging our understanding of time and consciousness. Despite the controversial nature of their findings, precognition experiments continue to captivate researchers and provoke debate. Montague Ullman's dream oracle experiments at Maimonides Medical Center sought to capture prophetic dreams by having subjects describe their dreams before being shown random images. The method involved recording dreams and comparing them to later events, with some results suggesting genuine predictions. However, critics argue that the hits could be due to chance, questioning the validity of these dream-based studies. The prophetic dream process in Ullman's experiments involved dreamers describing images they later saw, suggesting a foresight ability. Participants were asked to record their dreams in detail, which were then compared to randomly selected images shown afterward. This process aimed to demonstrate precognitive abilities, though the interpretation of results remains debated. The statistical result critique of Ullman's dream experiments highlights the subjectivity in interpreting whether dream descriptions matched future events. Critics argue that the statistical significance of the results could be influenced by confirmation bias or selective reporting. This critique underscores the challenges of proving precognitive abilities scientifically, emphasizing the need for objective analysis. A jaw-dropping case in Ullman's dream experiments involved a participant whose dream precisely predicted a real-world event, sparking debate over its authenticity. The dream described a specific incident that occurred shortly after, leading some to hail it as a genuine precognitive success. However, the lack of consistent replication leaves the question of true precognitive ability unresolved. Dean Radin's presentiment studies measure physiological responses, like skin conductance, occurring seconds before random events, suggesting a subconscious awareness of the future. These experiments aim to demonstrate that the body can react to future stimuli, challenging our understanding of time perception. While some results appear convincing, critics argue they could be explained by bias or methodological flaws. In Radin's presentiment studies, skin conductance technology is used to measure physiological responses that occur seconds before a stimulus is presented, suggesting the body might sense the future. This technique involves monitoring the electrical conductance of the skin, which changes with sweat gland activity, as participants anticipate random emotional images. The intriguing results have sparked debate, with some claiming they indicate a subconscious awareness of future events, while others attribute them to statistical anomalies. Reproducibility concerns in Radin studies have led statisticians to critique the reliability of the findings, arguing that the results could be due to chance or methodological errors. Critics emphasize the importance of independent replication to validate the claims of presentiment, pointing out that many attempts to reproduce the results have failed. This ongoing debate highlights the challenges of establishing scientific credibility in Psi research, where extraordinary claims require equally extraordinary evidence. A surprising oversight in Radin studies was the discovery of unconscious cues influencing participants' responses, potentially skewing the results. A follow-up investigation revealed that subtle environmental factors or experimenter behavior might have inadvertently signaled upcoming stimuli, leading to false positives. This finding underscores the complexity of Psi research, where even unnoticed variables can significantly impact the interpretation of data. During the Cold War, the CIA conducted precognitive espionage experiments to predict future events, hoping to gain a strategic advantage over adversaries. These experiments involve psychics attempting to foresee military actions or political developments, with mixed success and questionable credibility. While some predictions were eerily accurate, others were wildly off the mark, leading to skepticism about the reliability of precognition as a tool for intelligence gathering. Ingo Swann, a renowned psychic, collaborated with the CIA to achieve military goals through precognitive insights, aiming to foresee enemy actions. Swan's work involved remote viewing sessions where he attempted to describe distant locations or events, providing intelligence that could potentially alter military strategies. Despite the ambitious objectives, the lack of consistent success and scientific validation left many questioning the practicality of such methods. Reports of accurate predictions in CIA precognitive espionage experiments have been met with skepticism due to the lack of independent validation. While some psychics claim to foresee events with remarkable precision, critics argue that these successes could be attributed to vague predictions or retrospective fitting. The controversy over accuracy highlights the difficulty of distinguishing genuine precognitive abilities from coincidental hits. A disastrous false prediction during the CIA's precognitive espionage efforts led to a significant misallocation of resources, with severe consequences. The prediction, which inaccurately foresaw a major military threat, prompted a costly and unnecessary mobilization of forces. This incident underscores the risks of relying on unverified psi phenomena in critical decision-making, emphasizing the need for rigorous evaluation of such claims. Daryl Bain's retroactive influence experiments suggested that future events could affect the past, sparking intense scientific controversy. In these studies, participants appeared to perform better on tasks when they were later exposed to related stimuli, challenging conventional notions of causality and time. The controversial nature of Bain's findings has led to heated debates, with critics questioning the methodological rigor and interpretation of results. Bain's retroactive test method involved participants performing tasks where their success seemed influenced by future exposure to related stimuli. This method suggested that temporal causality might be more flexible than traditionally understood, with future events potentially affecting past performance. The intriguing results have captivated some researchers, though the lack of consistent replication has left the scientific community divided on their validity. The failed replication debate surrounding Bain's experiments has been a focal point of academic scrutiny, with many researchers unable to reproduce his controversial findings. Critics argue that the initial results could be due to statistical anomalies or experimental biases, rather than genuine retroactive influence. This debate underscores the importance of replication in establishing the credibility of scientific claims, particularly in the contentious field of psi research. In a shocking revelation, it was discovered that data selection in Bain's retroactive influence studies was manipulated to produce favorable results. This scandal involved selectively reporting data that supported the hypothesis while ignoring contradictory evidence, undermining the credibility of the findings. The incident highlighted the vulnerability of psi research to manipulation, emphasizing the need for transparency and rigorous methodologies. The history of psi research is riddled with fraud and deception, driven by motives ranging from fame to financial gain. Throughout the years, researchers have faced significant challenges in distinguishing genuine phenomena from fabricated results, as the allure of extraordinary claims often overshadows scientific rigor. This pervasive influence has led to skepticism and controversy, prompting calls for stricter oversight and methodological integrity. In the 19th century, mediums employed clever tricks to deceive scientists, using techniques like hidden compartments and secret signals during seances. These methods fooled even the most skeptical researchers, leading to sensational claims of supernatural abilities. The exposure of these deceptions eventually led to a more critical approach in psi research, emphasizing the need for rigorous controls. Seance trick techniques, often involved secret signals between accomplices or the use of rigged devices to create the illusion of supernatural phenomena. Mediums would employ hidden wires or mechanical devices to move objects, convincing participants of their psychic abilities. These deceptive methods captivated audiences, yet they ultimately undermined the credibility of early Psi research. Harry Houdini's exposés of fraudulent mediums had a profound impact on Psi research, revealing the tricks and deceptions used to simulate psychic phenomena. His dedication to uncovering fraud led to increased skepticism and a demand for stricter scientific standards in the field. Houdini's work highlighted the importance of critical evaluation, inspiring future researchers to approach Psi experiments with caution and rigor. A spectacular case involved a medium who went undetected for years, using elaborate tricks to convince audiences of her psychic abilities. This medium's deceptive practices included hidden compartments and secret accomplices, allowing her to perform seemingly impossible feats. Her eventual exposure underscored the need for vigilance in Psi research, as even the most convincing performances can be rooted in deception. Researchers like S.G. Soul have been implicated in fraudulent practices, manipulating data to produce desired outcomes in Psi experiments. Soul's case involved altering results to suggest telepathic abilities, which was only discovered years later by statisticians. This scandal had a devastating impact on the field's credibility, highlighting the importance of transparency and independent verification. S.G. Soul's fake telepathy data was a significant scandal, with his manipulations only uncovered by statisticians years after the experiments. Soul had altered scores to create the illusion of telepathic success, deceiving both the scientific community and the public. This discovery emphasized the importance of rigorous data analysis and the need for independent oversight in Psi research. The motives behind scientific fraud often include the pursuit of fame or the desire for funding, driving researchers to manipulate results. These incentives can lead to unethical practices, as the pressure to produce extraordinary findings overshadows the commitment to scientific integrity. Understanding these motives is crucial for developing preventative measures and ensuring the credibility of research. An obscure story in Psi research involves an assistant who destroyed evidence to protect a fraudulent study. This assistant, motivated by loyalty or fear, eliminated crucial data that could have exposed the manipulation of results. The incident highlights the complexity of fraud in scientific research, where even supporting roles can significantly impact the integrity of findings. In the digital age, pseudoscientific claims about Psi phenomena have proliferated online, with dubious studies often masquerading as legitimate research. These claims exploit the credulity of laypeople, who may lack the expertise to discern scientific validity from sensationalized misinformation. The spread of such studies is facilitated by the internet's vast reach, allowing pseudoscientists to bypass traditional peer review and directly influence public perception. Social media platforms have become powerful conduits for spreading sensational Psi claims, often amplifying unverified stories to millions. Algorithms prioritize engagement over accuracy, leading to the viral spread of eye-catching content that may lack scientific backing. This environment creates a feedback loop, where sensational claims gain traction and credibility through sheer visibility, regardless of their factual basis. The line between science and charlatanism in Psi research is often blurred, making it challenging to distinguish genuine studies from fraudulent claims. Researchers face the daunting task of navigating a field rife with methodological flaws and unsubstantiated assertions. This difficulty is compounded by the public's fascination with the extraordinary, which can overshadow the need for rigorous scientific standards. In 2024, a viral psychokinesis hoax captivated the internet, claiming that a teenager could move objects with her mind, sparking widespread debate and disbelief. The hoax was later exposed as a cleverly staged performance using hidden wires and camera tricks, yet it already garnered millions of views. This incident highlights the ease with which deception can spread online, challenging the credibility of genuine Psi research. The psychology of deception reveals why people are drawn to believe in Psi phenomena, often driven by a desire for wonder and mystery. Cognitive biases, such as confirmation bias, lead individuals to favor information that supports their pre-existing beliefs, skewing their perception of experimental results. This psychological inclination can make even flawed studies appear convincing, perpetuating the allure of Psi claims. Cognitive biases like confirmation bias and selective perception significantly impact how subjects interpret Psi experiments. These biases cause individuals to focus on evidence that confirms their beliefs while ignoring contradictory data, leading to skewed interpretations. Such effects can create the illusion of successful Psi phenomena, even when results are statistically insignificant. The role of placebos and expectations in Psi research is profound, as they can influence outcomes by altering participants' perceptions and behaviors. When subjects expect a certain result, their beliefs and attitudes can lead to self-fulfilling prophecies, skewing the data. This phenomenon underscores the importance of controlling for psychological factors to ensure the validity of experimental findings. A fascinating study revealed how suggestion could amplify perceived Psi successes, demonstrating the power of expectation and belief. Participants who were subtly led to believe in their Psi abilities reported higher success rates, even in the absence of actual phenomena. This study highlights the influence of suggestion on human perception, emphasizing the need for rigorous controls in Psi research. Financial incentives have driven fraud in Psi research, with foundations and media playing pivotal roles in funding dubious projects. Millions of dollars have flowed into questionable studies, often motivated by the allure of sensational findings that attract public interest. This economic influence underscores the need for transparency and accountability to prevent the misallocation of resources in scientific research. Wealthy sponsors like the McDonald Foundation have historically funded Psi research, providing substantial financial support for controversial studies. These sponsors often seek to validate extraordinary claims, driven by a mix of curiosity and belief in the potential of Psi phenomena. However, such funding can inadvertently encourage questionable practices, highlighting the need for rigorous oversight to ensure scientific integrity. The sensational press impact on Psi research has been profound, often amplifying unverified claims and influencing public perception. Media outlets have historically sensationalized Psi experiments, leading to increased funding and interest, but also fostering skepticism and controversy. This dynamic has created a feedback loop where sensational stories drive research agendas, sometimes at the expense of scientific rigor. A wasted funds scandal rocked the Psi research community when it was revealed that a prominent institute had squandered millions on fake studies. The scandal involved researchers fabricating data to secure continued funding, leading to a public outcry and calls for greater accountability. This incident highlighted the vulnerability of scientific research to financial pressures, emphasizing the need for transparency and oversight.